Hey, what is up, you guys? It is Tyler. Welcome back to the Tyler Waves channel, and welcome back to another World Wonder Ring Stardom review, guys. This is our first review back doing Stardom since I believe March or really even February of this year. As you guys all know, we've been gone from Stardom and a lot of Japanese wrestling around the globe due to CV. And then with Stardom's case, they didn't just have CV, they then had two other major incidents that went on within their company. Of course, one of them being the retirement of Arisa Hoshiki, and the most major of them, which I'm sure you all know about, being the death of Hana Kimura, which really delayed a lot of things, and we've been kind of in limbo of what's going on with the status of Stardom and what's going on with the roster or whatnot. This was their first return show back. It happened on the 21st of this month, so it happened 7 days ago. I'm just now catching up because I've actually had the opportunity to watch the show. While I can't honestly sit here and say I was able to watch it through Stardom World, it was great to actually be able to see this show in some capacity. And I know a lot of you have come to this channel lately from my Hana Kimura videos or from my Stardom reviews, so I know a lot of you have been waiting for me to give my thoughts and opinions on this show, so I figured I would get this out as fast as soon as I can. So that being said, let's get into the first show back. Stardom is again. I'm super excited to really talk about this. As you guys can see, I have my signed pictures of Arisa and Hana up in the background. They'll be joining us for reviews here on out. Of course, if you're tuned into my live streams, they're always going to be there. But of course, whenever you see those Stardom reviews, they'll be there to join us. So that being said, let's get straight into this show. So the show opens up, and we kind of already are told from the get-go that this is going to be a surprise card. We don't know exactly what matches are going to happen. Of course, if you are on the Stardom Twitter page, then of course you know what matches are going to happen before the show, kicks off. It's only to the people who aren't there. They don't know what matches are going to happen, of course. So the show starts off with a bit of a introduction promo package from each faction. You get TCS, which had probably the most tear-jerking one. Konami starts off, and she's like, Hana, where are you? And we're gonna, she's talking about how TCS is gonna defend Stardom's ring in honor of Hana, and it was just a beautiful thing. Saw something from TCS and Stars and Dano Damondo, and everyone just really got their words in. Then we got to a 10-bell salute for Hana, which was also just a very well put together segment. It was a nice way to pay homage to her. We then segued from there into a promo from Jungle Kyona, who I must say is really rocking that hairstyle. I mean, I'm used to seeing Jungle with being a brunette with the little red streaks at the bottom, little red tips, but like it's kind of almost like a darkish brown red, and then like it kind of fades into that like pink, not like straight Hana pink, but like that, it's like a reddish pink. I can't really post too many pictures because, as you guys know, I've been dealing with a lot of copyright issues with TV Asahi and Bushiroad lately, so I've been kind of treading lightly when it comes to these Japanese promotions and the content I'm using. So I'm trying to do that with Stardom as well. So I know if a lot of you guys are looking forward to pictures and videos in this one, I'm sorry, there won't be any of it, just the match card. But we have Jungle Kyona. She comes out and she announces that she will not be ready to wrestle just yet, but that when she returns, she will come back with more fights, more honor, and more pride than ever. It was really nice to hear from her. Of course, she's not injured as far as I know. I think she's just taking more time to grieve, which everyone's going to grieve at their own pace. I know a lot of you watching this video might still be grieving. Some of people might have, I don't want to say moved on, might have bounced back a little bit faster than others, but there are a lot of people out there. I mean, I've spoken to a lot of you. A lot of you who've seen my video, my Hana video. I've spoken to a lot of you about this Hana Kimura situation outside of that video, and I know some of you are still going through it, and it's going to take time. Everyone goes at their own pace, and just talking to each other, reaching out to one another, and just coming to terms with it is all we really can do. And in Jungle's case, she I think, if I'm correct, I think she was one of the first people that discovered Hana in that state, which is very traumatizing. So I wouldn't be surprised if Jungle doesn't come back for a very long time, because that traumatic act can lead to PTSD, and she's probably going to need to be in therapy. But Hopefully she comes back when she's ready, and when she does, she goes after the Wonder of Stardom Championship, because that, well, I don't even say Wonder, the World of Stardom Championship, because that's originally what she was going to go after before everything happened. So hopefully she goes after Mayu in her return, and we even see her actually win the championship. But that's all in due time. So Jungle had that promo, but from there we get into the rest of the show. So the match we start off with was a triple threat between Hina, Rena, and Natsu Sumire. It was okay. I mean, it just was there. It happened. I would say that Rena coming out, it's still in her gear with Hana, because if you guys watched Stardom before all this happened, Rena was almost like an understudy for Hana. She's part of TCS. She wore Hana's old gear. She had the hair. She had the little mask on. And I kind of had questions going into the show as if they would have her continue to do that gimmick, since, you know, that's Tana's gimmick. But of course, she kept it, and she did the entrance. She had Hana's old theme. You know, I ain't gonna lie, it was almost a tearjerker for me seeing her come out like that. And I believe Hina is her sister, and so they went at it with each other. It's not their first time with each other. Natsu Sumire kind of brought that comedy aspect to the match, but she didn't really add much substance to it. With Hina and Rena, they're almost like the young lionesses of Stardom. Of course, with these, I call them young lionesses, but of course with these lower card girls in Stardom, a lot of them are younger and less experienced, so they really don't have a much diverse and mass amount of moves in their arsenal, like a lot of your well decorated stars like Momo and, you know, Julia and Natsuko Tora and like all those girls I just named and a bunch more. They're way less more in terms of in-ring quality. So when you get in ring with Natsu Sumire, she can really either add the comedy or she can bring it to you, and more often than not, she's kind of added comedy to it. Which, like I say, I think if you're expecting a 5-star classic, far from it. But it was there. It happened. Rena actually got the pin in this match. So at first, she ended up blocking in her octopus stretch, which is Hana's octopus stretch. She locked that in on Natsu Sumire, and I'm like, what a big one that would be if she tapped out Natsu Sumire. But it was broken up by Hina. And then like a minute later, she knocked it in on Hina and got the pin. And not the pin. She got the submission victory. So Rena ended up winning this match, which shocked me. I guess it shouldn't have shocked me because she's TCS and she was Hana's understudy. But, you know, you really don't see Hina and Rena getting wins that often, so that took me by surprise. She almost got a little emotional after the match, but it was nice to see her get the win with the octopus stretch. Very much a nice homage to Hana Kimura. After that, we get into a next match, Death Yamasan versus Saki Kashima. This also was just... It existed. It really didn't do much for me. Really was just a lot of comedy. Saki went for a kick, and then Death did her Death Yama. Like she did all that stuff, and then like she would keep on doing it, and then Saki would keep kicking her, and it happened. It was there. It was just a comedy relief match. At the end of the day, Yama-san ended up reversing Saki's backslide pin and reversed it into her what is it called, a crucifix pin. And she ended up winning the match off of that. So Death Yama-san winning the match for Team TCS, going 2-0 on this show so far. Then we get into the match after this, Natsuko Tora versus Konami. So TCS was being represented on the show obviously by Konami, Rena, and Death Yama-san. So it was almost like, okay, we have 2-0 so far. Let's see if we could clean sweep with Konami, who at this point in time, since sadly there's no Hana and there's no Jungle, Konami is kind of the de facto leader of TCS at the moment. So, you know, Konami going in there against the leader of the now de facto leader of Oedo Tai, Natsuko Tora, it kind of was a meeting of the minds between the two. And I thought the match was decent. You know, I really didn't think it was that impressive. I mean, here's the thing. I think Konami is definitely one of the better wrestlers in Stardom. She always impresses me. Natsuko Tora, I haven't seen like a good match out of her yet, honestly. And I'm not saying she's a bad wrestler, but I don't think I've really seen that standout, eye-opening performance from her yet. And I feel like going into this, I kind of had higher expectations than I should have. I mean, she really powered over Konami a lot. Konami tried to stay to the mat with submissions, but it really didn't go too much further than that. She ended up using her biker chain on Konami quite a bit when referee had her back turned. First, she did a clothesline onto her. Then she put the chain onto Konami's stomach while she was laying on the mat and hit a frog splash onto her, which I'm like, wouldn't that hurt you too? Because, you know, your gut. I mean, I imagine it would hurt her more because she's going from that elevated position and falling onto the chains. I'm like, oh, whatever. Okay. But she went for the pin. The referee didn't count the pin because he saw the chains. He ended up getting knocked down. That's when Natsukatora took the chain, wrapped around her neck, sent her over the top rope, and basically tried to choke slash hanger. Referee saw this, disqualified her, so Konami ended up winning the match by DQ. So TCS did end up clean sweeping. We kind of expected something better in the finish, but overall, I thought it was thoroughly okay. Then we get into the co-main event. This is only a 5-match show, mind you. It was a short show. Really, I don't even think it went 2 hours. It was only an hour 45 minutes. Short show, but this was definitely the best match on the entire show. And that was a tag team match between Saya Kamatani and Utami Hayashishida versus Momo Watanabe. Or is it Watanabe? Momo Watanabe and the Tokyo Pimp Azumi. So I thought this was a damn good match. I don't think it is a like a match of the year candidate or any of that kind of stuff, but it definitely was one of those matches where I'd say if you have spare time, maybe not place it at the very top of your list, but somewhere in the middle, you know, maybe, you know, knock out 2 matches that, you know, you hear your friends talking about a lot, then put that match in there, because this is definitely a match I would say you should check out. It was very consistent. I feel like everyone got their moves in, even though I feel like Saya, Ida, I'm no god. Yeah, leave me alone. One take. So even though Saya Kamatani and, you know, Azumi, I feel like their roles kind of came in at the end more so as an assist than really a tag partner, and by that I mean like towards that like final 7-5 minute mark when it was mainly just Momo and Utami in the ring, which I don't have a problem with because they have really good chemistry with each other. I feel like they were really just in there to break up the pins between those 2 women, which is fine. Like I said, I just, you know, that kind of was the role towards the end. But the match went 20 minutes. It was a 20-minute time limit draw, and I thought it was, like I said, really good. Everyone got their moves in. I got to note that Saya Kamatani and Utami Hayashishida came out with new gear. It looked great on Saya Kamatani. Let me just say that. Saya Kamatani, she's been coming out for the last, like, really few months. I've seen her in Stardom before all this happened with her, like, really bright green and pink attire. And I'm like, okay, I understand that's her attire and that's her thing, but, like, she doesn't like she fits in Queen Quest. You know what I mean? Like, the green and pink doesn't work with Queen's Quest because their color scheme is almost like a, I don't want to say black because that's a way to tie, but it's like a darkish color. Like, when I think of Queen's Quest, I think of dark purple or like dark blue, something like that, because that's normally what Momo and Utami wears. Of course, not Momo and Utami, Momo and Azumi wears. Utami usually wears that like dark red and black. But then you have Saya Kamatani, and it's like, oh, look, she got the green and pink, and it's like, that's kind of off-putting. So in here, she had white and green, but the way it was stylistically cut, it just worked, and it fit her perfectly. Utami had kind of the same scheme going on, except hers was, of course, the black and red. I feel like stylistically, it looked a little weird on her. Not to say it didn't look good on her, but it just, I guess it's a bit of an adjustment for me because I'm not used to her wearing that. Also, she looked juiced up. She looked a lot thicker, and I don't mean thicker as in like, you know, bigger, like fat or anything, but like thicker as in like she looks like thicker, like she's been hitting the gym lately or whatnot. So that was definitely a lot noteworthy too. Really good match, as I said earlier. After the match, Utami hopped on a mic and she said that, listen. I know me and Momo went after the tag belts already. The Goddesses of Stardom, let me correct myself. Goddesses of Stardom championships already, and we failed. But I want to give it a crack with Saya and see what we can do. And Momo gets the mic and she's like, all right. I endorse. let's go. And then Sai hopped on. She's like, yeah, let's go team. And I was paraphrasing there, but that basically was the promo. It was good stuff. Definitely check it out if you have time. Then we get into the main event. In the main event, we saw the team of Saida, Starlight Kid, Mayu Watani, and Tam Nakano versus Dana Domundo. The team of Mecha, Shiori, Julia, and their newest acquisition to their team DDM, Himeka. I believe her name is Himeka. I know really nothing about Himeka. I still fairly new to the Joshi Puretsu scene. I really watched a lot of Stardom. I've been dabbling around with some TJPW. I've seen maybe 1 or 2 Marvelous matches with Takumi Iroha, and like 1 match from Diana with a Suri. But like, don't ask me about where she's from. I have no idea. I don't know what she's about. I mean, of course, in this match, I saw little glimpses of it, and I'll give her this. I feel like she showed a little bit more personality than I think really Mecha does. Like, I hate to crap on Mecha because I think she's good, but like, Mecha reminds me, and I feel like it's gonna be knocking on her again, but she reminds me of Sanada. Like, I feel like she doesn't show a lot of personality. She's straight faced. She goes in there, she does her moves, and that's kind of it. Like, I don't feel like she really brings much to the table aside from, hey, I will give her this. I think she's a better wrestler than Sanada is, but she's not very charismatic. Like, Shiori, she's a good wrestler. I think she's a better wrestler than Mecha, and she's charismatic. She has that really cute smile. She has the scream. She's like, Mecha doesn't really do much for me. And that's part of the reason why I don't like her. I'll give her this though. Mecha looks swole as hell. Like, I look like Shida has not skipped a single day. Aside from CV, even out without CV or with CV, she been in the gym every single day. Like, she got scary muscles. I'm like, one will mess with her. Hope she don't hear me saying that. But back to what I was saying. Shiori, she has the smile, she has the charisma. Julia is really good. I do feel like there's something about her that lacks, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's character. I don't know. There's something missing with Julia. I feel like when you talk about who shines the most from that team, it's Shiori in my opinion, even though Julia is the leader. Himeka coming in here, she definitely showed a little bit more personality than Mecha does. Maybe not as much as Shiori does. But in the ring, with it being a 4-woman match, everyone kind of had to get their spots in. It was a little hard to tell like what she can do in here. She did have a nice release powerbomb spot with Saida, which I thought was really impressive. They called her the Jumbo Princess, so immediately from that nickname alone, I can kind of guess that she's going to be almost like the power heavy of the team. So I'm looking forward to see what she can do there. Other than that, I don't know if I would call it a good match, really a pretty decent one. Tam Nakano had a new gear as well. Very vibrant, like purple, blue, light green. She's my baby too, so I miss seeing Tam. I think Shiori had a nice, like, vibrant, pinkish red gear too. And really, Starlight Kid had some nice schemes going on. Mayu Watani, she went in there. Ace of Stardom, of course. I don't think she changed up too much, but I really can't detail too much to happen in this match because I feel like everything gets kind of blended together, which is why it prevents me from calling it good. But one thing I do remember is that Julia used Tana's running boot in this match, and it got a good pop out of the crowd. Mind you, there was a crowd in this match. Actual living, breathing people were in the crowd for this match. Stardom said, listen, we bringing people back. Adhere to our rules and you're good to go. So you had that aspect, which I think added a lot to this show. Still no commentary, which I feel like at times it can hinder the show or help the show depending on what your stance is on commentary. For me, I feel like it's a little easier for me to get lost because I had to strictly pay attention to the action, and if I'm taking notes I can easily just diver away and then maybe end up checking on Twitter, and then maybe end up, like, I feel like I could diver away sometimes if there's no commentary whatsoever. So that's a little bit of a problem with me, not so much more of Stardom, but I guess it depends on the person. Mecha ended up getting the win for her team with a torture rack on a Saida. So she got the submission victory, and Donald Damundo stays strong going into the next show. Whenever that is exactly. We don't know when the next Stardom show is, but we hope that it comes very soon. After the show, Julia cut a promo saying that Stardom will go back on her feet, such and such. They all looked up at Julia. They gave her the little Naito thing. They didn't do the Naito thing, but they looked up at her, all that good stuff. So, yeah, that was Stardom's show. Very short review. Not much to talk about because it was a very short show. Overall, I thought it was a nice comeback show. It was nice to see them back. It reminded me a lot of the Together project for New Japan, where it's like, it's great to see New Japan back, but is it a show to go out of your way to see? No, honestly. I don't think there's anything on the show aside from the tag match between Queen's Quest. There's nothing else on the show that I feel like is substantial. So, I feel like, if you ask me, I would probably put this show in the spare time kind of. I don't know if I'll put it in spare time. I wouldn't. Do I want to say skip or do I want to say spare time? I feel like I can't personally say skip because the Queen's Quest match is in here. If the Queen's Quest match didn't happen, I would say skip the show. But because Sai Kamatani, Utami Hayashishita, Azumi, and Momo killed it, I'm going to say spare time, but definitely not high on your list. But yeah, that was my review of Stardom's Again show. Stardom is Again. What did you guys think? Comment down below. Let me know. Of course, I'll be back with some more Stardom reviews once Stardom has a schedule out and we know when the next show comes up. I love you guys as always, and I will see you all later. Peace out, guys.